G'day everyone, today I'm going to make some coasters and bring you along the process. With all my projects, I first create plans so I can foresee any issues I may encounter along the build process and to visualize the final product before even beginning. Also, this helps with knowing how much material I will need to get. I do this all in Blender. It's my software of choosing, but you could easily do it in Fusion 360 or SketchUp. Really, any CAD software will work. With a plan laid out, I went and got my materials. The board I got for this was 89mm wide and 1.8 meters long. I made a mistake in getting a board that was 19mm thick when I needed 12. So to fix that, I ran the board a few times through the planer to get the right thickness. Taking the board, I cut it in half just to make it much more easier to handle. With a scrap piece of wood, I set up a stop block, making sure that it's 90mm away from the blade. This will make cutting a bunch of these coasters quick and repeatable. In total, I cut 19 coaches, which is good because it will give me 3 coasters to screw up, which, as you'll see, I ended up needing. With the coasters, I now want to add the small 45 cut to the edges of the coasters. At first I used the 45 router bit that I had on hand, which did not have a bearing on the top, and oh well did that go wrong. After destroying the 3 extra coasters, I ran out and got myself a new 45 router bit with a bearing on it, which made it much easier, and I should have just done it in the first place. Now that each coaster edge has been routed on both sides, I now needed to sand the coasters, which was a pain, as always. First started by hand sanding those edges, and then the faces. After the absolute bore of sanding each of these coasters, I can now start prepping them for the finish. I start by brushing off any dust and then wiping off any leftover dust with a cloth and some mineral spirits. Once that is completely dried out, I take 8 of the coasters to stain. That way I will have 2 groups of plain finish and 2 with stain. The stain I'm using here is a walnut stain. I wipe the stain on with a shop cloth, and then after a few minutes I come back and wipe the excess off. I would love to hear any tips you all may have on how to better do some of these processes with large quantities of products. With all the stain pieces dried after leaving them for some time, I can now apply finish to all the coasters in one go. This is the first time I've ever really tried to make large quantities of something, so I learned quite a lot through the process, and will change how I would do stuff in the future. I'll say again, I would love to hear any tips and feedback you may have on this. Overall, I think they came out nice, and it was a fun and easy build to try out. If you really like these and want to set for yourself, check out my Etsy store linked below. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.